Yo, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here. Today we're taking a look at the CSGO Stockholm 2021 Contenders Capsule. So, first things first, we have the Shark Esports paper, which honestly, if you're gonna go with a shark kind of paper sticker, go with the Operation Riptide one. It's just a simple shark popping out of your gun. This one, on the other hand, is a shark that's then covered by the Sharks Esports team and has like a weird shield design in the background. This sticker is just very confused about itself, and it's not particularly bad, right? Normally I'd put this in the D tier, but because the Operation Riptide sticker exists, looks just better in every way, I can't say you should ever get this. I'm gonna have to put this in the F tier just because of that. It just does not look good. And next up, we have the Tyloo paper, which looks surprisingly good. It's a cool like red like lion thing, and they somehow even on the paper have like an eye glow, like an eye glint that kind of shows the like he's like going in for the strike. I think it can look really good in a lot of skins, and the overall red design will look really nice. I think it's actually a somewhat decent paper. I'm gonna put it at probably the B tier, honestly, or no, the C tier. I think the C tier is better for it. You can't really go wrong with it, but I cannot say it's particularly good at anything. It just won't be bad, really, in most places. Then next up, we have the Renegades paper, which has a cowboy. And if it was just the cowboy, it'd actually be probably kind of cool. But then it has the massive words Renegades that cover half of the sticker pretty much on its own and draws a lot more attention to this than it had to. I think this will work on like a few skins, like maybe like the Sand Dune, for example. But otherwise, I don't think this will work on non-sandy skins, just because that the Renegade's text just takes away so much from the sticker to the point that I think it's a very, very low D tier, almost F tier skin, because this text literally takes up half the sticker, and it just isn't needed. Then we have Entropic, which has like a somewhat cool like neon green shield design, and this can work very well on a lot of different neon skins, especially obviously neon green ones. And it has no real background or anything. I mean, I don't know what the actual design's supposed to be. I don't know why there's a triangle here and some random other shape here. But otherwise, it just looks like a cool like green shield design, and I can see it working on quite a few skins. To the point that I'm gonna put this probably at the top of C tier. It's probably the cleanest paper we've seen so far. So yeah, that's what I think about the Entropic paper. Then we have the Godsent paper, which has like an Illuminati kind of golden triangle with an eye sticking through it. It says Godsent, and it's not as kind of prevalent as the Renegades one. And then it has like a cool outer like vine thing going on, like vines go around the thing, kind of adding to the mystique of this skin. I think I could see this working on a couple different skins that are supposed to feel like more ancient, like kind of ancient like Egyptian type stuff where it's like the hidden idols, hidden gods of the past. I could see this working with some skins just for that, but I can't say it's a particularly nice design otherwise. So it's gonna go to the bottom of C tier for me. I do think it's a good amount better than the Renegades one. It's gonna be kind of hard to beat. Then we have our first like actually good looking one, which is the Virtus Pro or VP paper. Just looks great. It's a nice polar bear sticking out, angry polar bear, with a nice orangish background with a V shape because Virtus Pro. And it just looks good. This will look good on a lot of different weapon skins. There's no background to it. It's just a polar bear, probably like sticking out of your gun. I can see this working very well in a lot of different places and a lot of different skins. Probably an easy B tier for me. It's a really solid looking paper. Then we have the Copenhagen Flames, which is just a simple flame. That's all there is to it, right? It's just like they I don't know why it's a white and orange flame, but it is a white and orange flame. It feels alright. It's just a simple like ember. It'll look somewhat okay on some weapons probably, but probably not as good as the Entropic. But probably better than Tyloo and Godsent because it's just a simple design that'll probably work pretty well with the right color scheme. Then we have the phase paper. And if this was red, this would be probably one of the best papers if it was just pure red. For some reason, they figured, let's add a red camo to our design. I don't know why they did that. I think it looks absolutely fucking horrible. It still is the phase logo at the end of the day, though, so I'll give it credit for that, and there is no background to it. So the general outline is still the phase logo, and it still is overall red. But the camo just makes it look so much worse than it had to, and it's kind of disappointing. But I'll still put it in the middle C tier. And actually, I'm going to move Godsent down to top of D. Just, it makes more sense for me to have it there. Anyway, that was our last paper, since I'm not covering the Stockholm PGL stickers here. If you want to see those, go to the Legend Capsule video. I'll go over them more in depth there, and you can hear about my opinion on them there. Anyway, then we have the Shark Hollow, which actually looks a lot cooler. Like, the shark is, like, popping out at you. If the word sharks wasn't so fucking big, this would actually probably be one of the cooler looking hollows of this entire event. But unfortunately, the Sharks Hollow has this massive word sharks on it, which I think takes away a lot from the sticker. But otherwise, with this hollow effect, you see the impact of this shark jumping out at you a lot more, and your eyes are drawn away from that shield design. If it wasn't for the massive word sharks here, I don't know why all these contenders teams are making their fucking names so large on these stickers. It ruins a lot of them. It would be really good. And even with it, it's not completely horrible to the point that I'm actually going to put this at the bottom of D tier for having a somewhat solid hollow design and looking really good other than that one, like, pretty massive flaw, but not as bad as the Renegades one. Then we have the Tyloo Hollow, which takes away a lot of the design, but actually keeps enough that it almost looks like a dragon now instead of like a red lion. It almost looks like a dragon, and you can kind of see curling around the sticker. And the general kind of flame-like hollow applied to this, when applied to a dragon-looking sticker, looks absolutely dope. I can't say this is an S tier one, but this is for sure an easy A tier for me. It just looks really like the hollow goes really well with this sticker. It looks great. Then we have the Renegades Hollow, which has the same kind of vitality, like almost metallic molten flame look. It still has the massive word Renegades up top, and the molten flame thing doesn't really go with the cowboy. I can't place this too high, even though it has a somewhat cool looking hollow effect. This is probably going to be the only hollow out of the entire set of stickers that I'm actually putting in D tier. I don't think this will look too great on pretty much any skin. Anyway, next up we have the Entropic Hollow, which goes from green to red, which is actually very green to copper. So green to copper to gray. This is a very unique hollow. I've never seen anything like this before. Very unique effect, and the base design, like I said, is somewhat solid. So with a pretty much, I don't think we'll ever see a hollow like this for a long time. So this is probably gonna be a one-of-one hollow effect for a while, and it's a really cool looking one that will work very well on a lot of lighter skins. Sorry about that. But for me, it's an easy S tier. It's just a very, very unique hollow on a very solid base design. I don't think you can go wrong with it. Then we have the Godsent Hollow, which is like almost like a golden version of the Illuminati thing, except it has like less focus on that design. So it looks. I don't even know if this looks better or worse, but it does not look that much better if it does look better, because you can barely tell what the design is anymore. It's just like this looks like just a triangle with some random shenanigans on it. Um, oh, I didn't have it tabbed out to this one, but this is what I've been looking at. It's yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. I think honestly the paper probably looks a bit better, and that's like this is the actually surprised that there's another Hollow in D2 with Renegades because it is hard to beat. Anyway, then we have the VP Hollow, which is like a flaming polar bear. That's all there is to it. It doesn't even like there's nothing. Okay, it's weird that they removed part of his nose. Like, why is this part here gone where my mouse is? That's really weird. But other than that, the hollow effect looks really cool. It even has a bit of that green that we saw from Entropic at the right times, and it just looks cool. It's a flaming polar bear. You can't go too wrong with that. I think it's probably the third best hollow we've seen. I think the Tightly one just is like themed. It looks really cool. But yeah, simple design with a really nice looking hollow. And then we have the Copenhagen Flames, which is a step above that. It's literally a flame with a flame hollow. Like, Jesus. And it goes from blue to red, because fire can be blue and red. Uh, it just looks cool. I'll be real. I don't think it's as cool as the very unique entropic effect, but it's definitely an S tier for me. It's one of the better looking hollows from the whole event. It's literally a fire that like has a fire hollow effect applied to it. It's just gonna look really dope on a lot of different skins, and pretty much any place. Then we have our final hollow, the Phase Hollow, which actually brings back that original red phase look, and then adds this, coolish looking red to gray kind of hollow effect. It just looks cool. I'm gonna be real. It has no background still. It has that phase look. I love putting this on like a scope of an op or something. It looks really dope. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that one. So for me, that's actually also an S tier one. I really like the original phase logo. I think it's one of the cooler things to put on like something that implies precision, like an op or a deagle or something like that. And even without that, I mean, it just looks really cool, in my opinion. Probably really biased there though. Then we have Shark's Foil, which is actually looks worse than the paper, which was already the worst thing I've ever seen. So yeah, F tier. Don't have to talk about that one. The Tyloo foil actually looks better than the paper. It actually applies almost like an effect to the glowing eye, right? You can see the glow of the eye actually changing as the sticker moves around. So it just actually looks a good amount better than the paper, to the point that I actually put above this kind of shit tier looking phase logo. Yeah. Next up we have the Renegades foil, which does just what the hell is this? It's like the Renegade sticker, but if you could only really see the hat and bandana, it just looks worse. It looks so bad. That's actually an F tier. I don't think you can apply that to anything. At least the paper and the hollow, there's like 3 skins you can apply it to. This one has fucking 0. That just looks horrible. Then we have the Entropic Foil, which is a more defined like Optimus Prime shield thing. Yeah, a little bit better than the paper maybe, if even. They're really on the same tier. Then we have the Godsent Foil, which is a different coloring of the Illuminati thing. Now the eye in the middle is like a silver color instead. I don't think it was before, or if it was, it wasn't very noticeable. Now it is, but it still has the same problems with the paper. It's a little bit better than the paper, I guess. I'll give it that, but it's still not really that good. Yeah, that's all there is to say about that one. Then we have the VP foil, which is a nice, more defined polar bear. The white with the foil effect will always look good. Just kind of makes it feel more aggressive. And the orange foil doesn't look too bad. So yeah, it's just a little bit better than the paper, which was pretty solid. So top of B tier. Then next up, we have the Copenhagen Flames foil, which actually looks worse. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't look worse than the paper. I thought it would for a sec, because the white foil doesn't look that great. But then I looked over at the orange, and the orange foil almost gives off a bit of a flame effect. Makes it actually feel more like a fire, which I think makes it better than the paper by a little bit. And by actually enough that I'm not sure if I could put it above Entropic or not, but I'm actually gonna put the same level. I think all the two Entropic stickers and the Copenhagen Flame foil, I think, are on the same level in C tier. Anyway, then we have the Phase foil, which is the bad Phase logo, but somehow just looks worse. I don't even know how to describe why it looks worse. It just does. Not to the point of being D tier, but like really, really close. Bottom of C tier for me. Anyway, then we have our first gold, the Shark's Gold. Has kind of the same, less of an impact than the Hollow. It's still gold, but it still has the massive sharks thing written on it. Unless you really like to look at the word sharks, I still would not really recommend getting this much at all. It's still gold, I guess. I'll put in D tier, but yeah, no. It just doesn't. This sharks thing ruins all of their stickers. Then we have the Tyloo one, which it's like a golden dragon, which is also something dragons are known to be. Don't think it looks as cool as the hollows, and the hollows look really dope in this event. But I think it's enough to actually put it either at the top of B or bottom of A. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of A because yeah, it's really cool looking. It's like a golden dragon. Then we have the Renegades Gold. It's a golden cowboy with no background to the point that you can barely tell it's a cowboy, and you only really see that from the hat. And the word Renegades is still fucking massive on it. Uh, it doesn't even look as good as the Sharks one, and it looks a little bit worse than the Hollow. So I'll put it here, right below the Hollow. It's barely gonna work on any skins at all, but I can't say it's F tier. Then we have the Entropic Gold, which is a golden kind of shield, which is mediocre. It doesn't have that unique color scheme of the papers or the Hollow that is actually super unique, and I doubt we'll ever see again. So I'm gonna actually have to put it below the papers. I don't think it looks as nice as the papers. I still think it looks better than the Copenhagen Flame paper. That's about it. Yeah. And next up we have the Godsent Gold, which is a golden version of the confusing logo of the Hollow that you can barely tell what it is. Has the same problems as the Hollow, but I guess it's more easy to see what it is. I still think it looks worse than the paper and the foil, so it's actually indeed here yet again. The Challenger's Capsule, or whatever this is, the Contender's Capsule just really let me down, man. It's kind of sad. And we have VP going clutch with it, with Golden Polar Bear. I kind of wish the top parts of the V weren't there because they kind of feel weird, but otherwise it's a really nice looking gold polar bear. It just looks nice. Top of B tier, looks better than the paper. That's about all I could say. Then next up is their second to last one, so Golden Flame with the Copenhagen Flames. Definitely doesn't look as dope as the Hollow, but it actually looks pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, like the Golden Ember doesn't actually look that bad. To the point that I'll actually put this below the VP paper in B tier. I think it's actually pretty solid. And our final sticker is the Golden Phase, which actually looks kind of dope. It's a Golden Phase logo. I'd love to have this on, if I had like an Op Prince or like a D-Lore, I'd love to put this on like the scope or just somewhere on the weapon actually for the D-Lore. I'd probably put this on the body. It looks really cool. I love the Phase logo, and with gold, it looks really solid. Not enough to be better than the dope ass hollows this event, but still enough to put it in pretty solidly in A tier for me. I think it's the best looking gold we have from the Contenders capsule. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my thoughts on all the stickers in the Contenders capsule. I'm actually really disappointed by most of these. It's kind of sad how bad all of these are in comparison to the other two capsules. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you disagree with anything that I was saying in this video, feel free to comment below and I'll probably talk to you about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.